Guys, big breaking news coming out. World War III update. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov warns of staged false event operation. Once again, a false event. Let me spell that name. False, F-L-A-G. Now, he's talking about these drones that is popping up in the European countries, mostly NATO alliances. It appears Ukraine is now using the Bear Russian-made drones to create the impression that the Bear is launching them. I know for a fact that the West is helping the Ukrainians with all this dirty business. Lavrov warns of false flag. What are your thoughts? Leave comments down below. We have more information coming out, and look at this one here. Drone sighting shuts down Amsterdam airspace again. All right, we're going to get to all this news here, guys. We have more breaking news. Lavrov again said downing any flying object in our airspace is a grave violation. And once again, Lavrov said we have no intention to strike NATO or EU. NATO brings out the big toys after drone drama in Denmark. So what's really going on here, guys? Do you believe this is some kind of false FLAG going on here? They blaming the Bear for all the drones that's happening in Poland, Estonia, Romania, Germany, Denmark. Do you think that this is all a false FLAG? Leave comments down below. We're going to see what's going on here, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you again for your support. Your support is what keeps us on air. Okay, so let's go with the very beginning, guys. We'll take you here. Drone sighting shuts down Amsterdam airspace again. Pilots near Amsterdam airport spotted a drone buzzing around the runway like it owned the sky. Air traffic control rerouted flights for 45 minutes. No delays. Just a big mid-air detour thanks to some mystery drone cowboy. Okay. It's the 22nd time this year someone's decided to play Top Gun with a toy near one of Europe's busiest airports. Alright, so we're going to get to all this news here, guys. I just want to show you some of this small updates here. I do have the full article, but let me just read some of this stuff here. So Lavrov said downing any flying object in our airspace is a grave violation. Reporter asked, U.S. commander, the president, called Russia a paper tiger and said European countries should take down the Russian planes if they violate European airspace. Do you see that as a provocation? Lavrov said. The next day, U.S. president was asked if he continued to think Russia was a paper tiger, and the response was negative. If the U.S. president allowed for the bombing of the Bear Federation, or for drones and planes to be shut down when a drone flies not over our territory but outside of our airspace, probably everybody has a right to do what they deem necessary with that drone. If there are attempts to down any flying object over our territory in our airspace, then it's an egregious violation of our territorial integrity and sovereignty. He goes on to say we have no intention to strike NATO or EU. The bear is being accused of almost planning to strike the North Atlantic Alliance and the European Union countries. And it doesn't make any sense here, guys. Why would the bear do something like that? Why would the bear want to go and start World War III? It just doesn't make any sense here. I feel like Donald is being played. He's being played with all this drone stuff. It just doesn't make any sense here, guys. Why would the bear, knowing that the bear is advancing and winning Ukrainian war, and people's not going to agree with me, but they're winning. They got all these territory. They annexed multiple territory. They have Crimea, and they're still taking more villages. So why would the bear, all that hard work, why would the bear throw it out and start World War III with NATO? It says here the leader, Vladimir, has repeatedly debunked these provocations. The bear has never had and does not have any such intentions. However, any aggression against my country will be met with decisive response. There should be no doubt about this among those in NATO and the EU. Not only are telling their voters that war with the bear is inevitable and are forcing them to tighten their belt, but are also openly talking about preparations for a strike on our Kaliningrad Oblast and other Russian territories. Wow. Once again, NATO brings out the big toys after drone drama in Denmark. NATO is beefing up the Baltic Sea with new assist, including at least one air defense frigate, after mystery drones decided to lauder over Danish military sites. The ship is likely coming from standing NATO Maritime Group 1, which sounds less like a defense fleet and more like a boy band, but the firepower is very real. Apparently, NATO's patience for uninvited drones has officially run out. I'm sorry, but again, I just feel like there's a lot more to this. I think Zelensky is trying to bring in the alliance into this biblical war. Once again, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei told world leaders at the UN General Assembly on September 28, Saturday, that Moscow has no intention of striking European countries, while warning that any aggression against my country will be met with decisive response. Man. His remarks come amid rising concerns in Europe over unauthorized flights into NATO airspace. Alliance jets recently downed drones over Poland, while Estonia reported that the Bear fighter jets entered its airspace and remained there for 12 minutes. The Bear has denied the accusation, claiming that the drones did not target Poland. Give me a second here. Sorry guys, I had to sneeze. That's pretty rare. You don't, hear me say, hold on for a second to sneeze. Alright, so his remark come amid rising concerns in Europe over unauthorized flights into NATO airspace. Alliance jets recently downed drones over Poland, with Estonia reported that the Bear fighter jets entered its airspace and remained there for 12 minutes. Now, the Bear has denied the accusation, claiming that the drones did not target Poland and blaming Ukrainian signal jamming for sending them off course. Estonia's allegation of airspace violation was also rejected by Moscow. European officials, however, viewed the incident as deliberate provocations designed to test NATO reaction. The Bear has never had and does not have any such intention, Sergei said, referring to claims that Moscow could strike NATO countries. However, any aggression against my country will be met with decisive response. All right. Donald, is it worth it? Is it worth it, Donald? Is it worth it getting involved for a few little tiny drones in the sky. Are you really going to drag the sleeping giant to WWE3? Are you really going to believe that those numbers that's being given to you, supposedly over 1 million of the Bear soldiers were taken out in this war, over 1 million. Meanwhile, Crane lost 50,000. It just, you know, the things that is being fed to Donald just buy into this deceiving system stuff. Similar reassurances were heard before. Moscow repeatedly denied planning to invade Ukraine, but on February 24, 2022, the Bear forces launched airstrikes and a ground assault from multiple directions, from Belarus towards Kiev, from Crimea in the south, and from occupied Donbass towards Kharkiv. The U.S. commander told reporters earlier this week that he believes Ukraine could reclaim all territory lost to the Bear. I don't know why Donald says something like that. I'm still mind blown with this one here. It just mind blown. Again, a few months ago, Donald said, "You cannot win a fight with someone that's bigger than you." And now, a few days ago, he shared this message. He told reporters earlier this week that he believes Ukraine could reclaim all territory lost to Russia. But a few months ago, he told Zelensky, "You cannot win a fight with someone that's bigger than you." So again, Donald says like multiple different things here. A notable departure from earlier remarks suggesting Kiev might have to cede land. U.S. commander made the comments after meeting Zelensky on the sidelines of the UN gathering. Zelensky later described their talk as a good meeting. Once again, Sergei repeated Moscow's claim that it remains open to talks. The Bear has been and remains open to negotiations to eliminate the root causes of the conflict from the very beginning. Now, we have repeatedly proposed to agree on legally binding security guarantees, he said, blaming Kiev and Western allies for refusing dialogue. Now, it says here he also accused NATO of attempting to militarily encircle all of Eurasia, and said both the alliance and the EU should have no doubt about the Bear willingness to respond militarily if threatened. So once again, Dmitry tells UN Russia has no plans to strike Europe and warns a decisive response to aggression. Now, he believed what's going on is a false event. It's a false event. They are blaming the Bear for a lot of stuff that's not true. We have some more news coming out, guys. It says here 2 new cases of unknown drones. Man, today there's been a lot of unknown drones here, guys. 2 new cases of unknown drones flying over strategic object reported from Finland and Lithuania. Let's stop here for a second. This kind of reminds me of New Jersey, man. It just last year around November 2024, there was all this drone news in New Jersey. New Jersey seeing drones and people reporting all these drones fly. Now we are seeing it in Europe. Now, you know, I'm kind of waking up and I feel like this is all baloney stuff. They are basically trying to blame the Bear for all this. And I kind of believe, Sergey, that this is a false FLAG. They're trying to drag us into something here. So again, guys, all these drone stuff, it started in New Jersey, and now we are seeing it happening in Europe. And they're blaming the Bear for it. 2 new cases of unknown drones flying over strategic objects reported from Finland and Lithuania. 3 drones violated the airspace of the airport in Vilnius, forcing it to divert or cancel 7 flights yesterday. Meanwhile, Finland reports that a drone flew over a hydroelectric power plant near, I'm going to skip that name, yesterday, despite a no-fly zone had been established over strategic energy infrastructure. And who should we blame? The Bear! Yeah, let's blame the Bear. Let's blame the Bear. Let's evoke Article 4. Let's finish off this war. All right, give me a second here. Give me 1 second. Hmm. 1 hour ago, the leader of Ukraine posted this. Zelensky said, Europe must stop importing any of the Russian oil and gas. All this money is spent by the bear directly on the war. We see no increase in social support inside the bear, which means all of these funds are going to the war. If there is a shortage of money for the war, social support for people in the bear will decrease. If social support decreases, the people will become dissatisfied, and the bear leadership will be dissatisfied as well. History shows the bear has always changed after hunger riots, and that is exactly what they fear. Yes, there are risks, and alternative logistics may cost more, but a way must be found to stop buying the bear energy. On this, I fully support the US, and Ukraine is ready to help Europe. So this must be part of a comprehensive solution, not only energy, but also the shadow fleet and its principle, halting the bear ability to trade and export goods by sea. Now, this is also an important way to reduce its economy, shadow fleet, banking sector, energy, and total sanctions are needed without exemptions. All right, so basically, in other words, Zelensky is saying go buy the U.S. oil and stop buying the Russian oil. Donald is like with a big smile. I like money. Do you like oil? Let's make business together. And then, it will weaken the bear, Russia, because they're not getting any more profits. Nobody's buying their oil. That's the reason why Donald is, threatening sanctions on India and China, and also urging Europe to stop buying the Russian oil. So again, we are definitely seeing nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom happening right in front of our faces. And once again, guys, the Bible does speak about the oil, and again, Scripture does speak about all these world events, and we are definitely seeing it right now in our time. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Share the video. Till next time later. Peace.